Hello, everyone, and welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 150. Woo, it's a round number. Andrew Eisen here, all by myself, because Easy K is taking the missus out to a music show. There was an act in town that she wanted to see, and Zachary said, "By gum, you shall see it." I don't know what his kids are doing. Probably staying home playing Nintendo. But I'm here because I had nothing to do tonight. I thought about going shopping 45 minutes ago, and then I realized it's cutting it close. Hello, Atritsu. So, hey, hey, did you hear what EA said about loot boxes? I wish I had a full transcript, but the Ars Technica article I'm going to read from has as full quotes as I could find. I did watch the actual exchange, and it's never good when you just want to slap people, but man, I've watched enough hearings. It seems like whatever hearing in whatever context, there's always someone really stupid there. Whether it's on the the guest witness person being interviewed, or someone asking the questions. Some people are just so stupid or duplicitous or disingenuous that you're just like, whack. You stop it. So this was in front of a UK panel earlier in the week, and they were talking about loot boxes and gambling mechanics in video games because the industry just got greedy, and it's starting to get the attention of lawmakers. So a representative from EA said, let's see, said these are not. This is not a direct quote, but she said they're not loot boxes. We don't even call them loot boxes. What's a loot box? Never even heard of a loot box. I mean, yeah, at E3, we just specifically said we're not going to have loot boxes and Jedi Star Wars Last Fallen dude with Blandy McBoyband. Uh, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. EA specifically said no loot boxes. But she says, what's a loot box? Never, we don't even refer to them as loot boxes. They're surprise mechanics. Surprise! You just paid $60 for our game. You have to pay more now. Surprise! Well, I mean, you don't have to, but if you don't, you got a lot of grinding to do, son. So, this representative of EA lied. I don't know what the legality of lying in a UK hearing of sort is. But clearly, EA has never referred to loot boxes as surprise mechanics. That's complete and utter bunk. I don't believe it for a minute. But anyway, she says, this, and now I'm quoting now, this is what we look at as surprise mechanics. It is important to look at this. If you go to, I don't know what your version of Target is, she's in the UK, you understand. So she's like, whatever the UK version of Target is, a store that sells a lot of toys, and you do a search for surprise toys, you will find that this is something people enjoy. They enjoy surprises. It is something that has been part of toys for years, whether it is Kinder Eggs or Hatchimals or Lowell Surprise. I don't know if Lowell Surprise is actually a thing, but I'll take her word for it. What I'm not going to take her word for, which I'm going to independently verify because I'm a journalist, not anymore, I'm going to go to Target's website, and I am going to search surprise toys is what she said. Okay. So I'm going to search surprise toys at Target and see what actually comes up. Okay, so lol surprise is actually a thing. Never even heard of it. What is this? Kids love surprises, which is why this Pearl Surprise toy from Lowell Surprise is the perfect way to spice up playtime. It includes a purse, carrying case, 6 exclusive accessories. Okay, what is it though? Okay, so doll set includes 2 dolls, 6 doll accessories, 1 surprise fizz. It's something you drop in the bathtub and it fizzes, I guess, and 1 doll display. So, so you do know what's in it? I guess you don't know which doll or which color fizz it is. So, okay, we've got Lowell Surprise. We've got a stuffed toy. We've got more Lowell Surprise, little action figures, Disney princess stuff, Doorables. That's more Disney stuff. Okay. There's some Hatchimals, whatever that is. Okay, so yeah, if you search that, you will find Lowell Surprise and Hatchimals at Target. Okay, fair enough. Let's see. She also claims that the monetization features, such as loot boxes, as implemented in games like FIFA, are, quote, quite ethical and fun and enjoyable to people. We think it is like many other products that people enjoy in a very healthy way. They like the element of surprise. It's very healthy when people spend thousands of dollars on this stuff, you see. Um, and she goes on and on like that, just being completely disingenuous, and it's kind of maddening, actually. Shame on you, EA rep. I know you're paid to do that, but that doesn't make it any better. Reminds me of these you always see in movies where the professional assassin walks up to the person, their mark, and the mark is all, no, 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 don't kill me, and the professional assassin says, it's nothing personal. Kaboom. I always thought that was weird. Like, who cares? I mean, does that make you feel better, assassin person? Because I don't think the victim feels better. I mean, if you were like, no, no, don't kill me, and your assassin said nothing personal, it'd be like, oh, oh, it's nothing personal. Then it's just business. Okay, okay, proceed. It's all right then. I'm I'm good with this now. I thought it was personal. I thought you had a problem with me. Okay, big misunderstanding. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. It's one of those things. It's stupid. Just because someone's paying you to do something, if the thing they're paying you to do is bad, you shouldn't do it. You really shouldn't. But, benefit of the doubt, maybe EA kidnapped this person's children and forced her to go to this hearing and just bullshit. Could be. Let's see. Otritsu says EA killed one of my favorite MMOs back when I was in high school. Earth and Beyond was so much fun. I wish EA had never gotten their hands on it. Hey, remember when EA killed Dead Space? Yeah, good times. Actually, not good times. It sucked. Um, Warren can't remember the last time bought and played an EA game, new or used. Do, 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 do. Did I read Scotty's asking me, did I read a thing? Google is killing YouTube's Hangouts on Air this year. Yeah, I heard something about that. Um, I haven't really looked into it. I probably should, but I mean, even if Google does kill Hangout on Air, I'll find something to use to podcast. So, eh. But there's really a difference between the crap that you would find in a Kinder Egg, which is something that she mentions, which has been banned in the United States for a long time. Or it was, at least. It may not be anymore, but it was banned for quite a while. So it's an interesting example to use. Although it was banned not for gambling things, it was banned because they were afraid kids were going to choke on the little toy inside the chocolate egg. But here's the thing: the difference between collectible card packs, baseball cards, garbage pail kids, if you're old like me, um, or or like Kinder eggs, Tinder eggs. Do you swipe them? I don't know. See, the things that come inside them, like a box of Cracker Jacks, there's a toy inside. You don't know what it is, but it's going to be garbage. Nobody cares, you know? Um, Also, as far as like trading cards and stuff go, you don't have to pay $60 to then pay more money for the cards. You just, if you want a pack of cards, you go buy a pack of cards. If you want more cards, you go buy more cards. Um, you can also, uh, ostensibly through eBay and other services, just go buy the card you want if there's a specific card you really want. With loot boxes, it's not just there's a loot box, go get it if you want it. If you're not interested, leave it alone. No, it's in the game you already paid money for. So these comparisons don't really hold water for me. You know, I mean, Hearthstone, you can pay real money. That's one of those computer card playing games. You can pay real money for card packs, and you never know what cards are going to be in there. You know there are going to be cards, but you don't know which ones. But you don't have, there's not a $60 entry fee to Hearthstone. You can just play it. If you want to buy card packs, you can. I'm more okay with that kind of a thing. You know, free to play mechanics, I don't like them, but I'm okay with them in a free to play game. Free to play mechanics, loot boxes, microtransactions, things like that, according to me, should not be in premium priced games. If you charge money for your game, to me, you forfeit the ability to use free to play mechanics. Says I. So I guess that's really all I have to say about that. EA continues to be just one of the worst. Surprise mechanics. Come on. It reminds me of the industry will do that. They'll just rename stuff. It's like, oh no, that thing you hate. No, it's the exact same thing. We just call it something else. Uh, they did that with season pass. They changed the. I think it changed from something to season pass or season pass to something. They've done stuff like that before. Uh, Otritu says same thing with Magic the Gathering Arena. It's free to play, but there's a shop in the program where you can put real money in to get cards, either specific ones or packs of them. Right. Um, Also, there also tends to be a difference. Is when you buy, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you buy card packs, you always get playable cards, right? A lot of the loot boxes in, Star Wars and Overwatch, a lot of the times the stuff you get in is like, you know, colors that, stickers and dumb crap that nobody cares about. Um, I mean, even in Magic the Gathering and Hearthstone, if you get a dupe, you can sometimes use multiples of a card to your advantage. Um, but I think the primary thing is you don't, Hearthstone and Magic the Gathering, it's not a $60 entry fee on top of these loot box mechanics. She also said something about there's no evidence that these games lead to gambling. And I don't think anyone's ever made that claim. I think they've said this is, it's similar to gambling and preys on people who are vulnerable to those types of things in a similar manner. I don't think anyone ever said, well, people who play loot boxes are going to hit the casinos. No, probably not. They're probably just going to sit at home and spend $5,000 on Smurf berries or loot boxes or whatever. So, Tritsu says you always get 5 commons, 3 uncommons, and 1 rare. Oh, okay. You can use up to 4 of any card, and extras you get over that are recycled into free boosters or free wild cards. Oh, neat. Okay, cool. So, that's that. EA, have you no decency? Have you no shame? Yes, it has no decency or shame. If it can wring an additional penny out of something, it will try. No matter how many people get hurt, they don't care. Because games are not about having fun. So let's see, what else do I want to talk about tonight? Let's see. I had a topic in my head and I just completely forgot about it. Oh, let's talk about how awful YouTube is. So yesterday, YouTube just out of the blue decided to flag several dozen of my videos as inappropriate for for advertisers for monetization. I mean, they're still approved for monetization, but they just won't run ads. Which, for my purposes, I have so few views it doesn't matter. I mean, it's damn, I missed out on about 2 cents there, But to me, it's the principle of the thing. I did a video a month or so back called "Andrew Eats a Prickly Pear." It's exactly what it sounds like. It's me taste testing a cactus fruit. There is literally nothing in that video, in the metadata or in the content of the video itself. And by metadata, I mean the title, the tags, the description, any of that, that runs even remotely afoul of any of YouTube's advertising guidelines. There's no profanity, no drug use, no controversial or sensitive topics, no violence, no sex, no nudity. We should hope not. So once again, YouTube was inappropriately flagging videos. Not too surprising. What was surprising is this video was fine for 2 months or however long I've had it posted. And the other dozens of videos are, I think the oldest one I saw was like 6 years old. I mean, there are two videos which maybe you could make an argument from. I made a video like 4 or 5 years ago, actually more than that now, I think it's like 6 years ago, called "You're Probably an Asshole," in which I list all the myriad ways you're probably an asshole. And so I say the word asshole many times throughout the video. That's not appropriate for advertisers. According to their guidelines, profanity in and of itself is not instantly disqualifying. Context is important, and I personally think in the context of that video it's fine, otherwise I wouldn't have done it. But they may disagree, and that's fine. But the thing that gets me is it was fine for 6 years. Suddenly now it's inappropriate, which is weird. I also years ago I was invited on to the Huffington Post. Weird, right? Why? To talk about Gamergate. And naturally, I did the segment and I went back to work and I had like 300 comments on Twitter. So I made a video addressing the various comments I got, and that video was that. Now, I did say the F word a couple of times, but I was directly quoting the tweets that I was responding to. So I feel the context excuses those brief moments of profanity. And I suppose you could consider Gamergate itself a controversial or sensitive subject. I would more consider the adjacent harassment and abuse as the actual controversy, not Gamergate itself, which is what I was. Well, actually, what were we talking about? Actually, we were discussing actual harassment and abuse. So, okay, I could see that one. But again, video's 4 years old. So it was fine for 4 years, but not anymore? Okay. But dozens of the other videos were stuff like Andrew eats a prickly pear, or Andrew reviews this movie, or old episodes of Molehill Mountain, and even Super Podcast Action Committee. So I took an hour and I went through and requested a manual review of every single one of them. And today, they just started chunking through approving them. And by my count, so far, they've approved 26. So this means that YouTube, today alone, has admitted that it screwed up and inappropriately marked my videos as inappropriate for advertising. YouTube is very, very, very bad at this. Now, again, I want to point out that I may have 11,000 subscribers, but I have on average like 100 views per video, if that. So advertising is not, if I lose all advertising, it's not going to affect me because I don't make enough money. Occasionally I can, every year or so, I can treat myself to a lunch. That's how much money I make on YouTube now. But it's the principle of the thing. YouTube is wrong. And I hate it when people are wrong. It just drives me batty. So yeah, there's that. But honestly, and I mentioned this on Twitter, I'd trade this crap, frustrating as it is. I'd trade it for YouTube just deplatforming bigotry and hatred and harassment and abuse and misinformation and all the stuff it shouldn't be platforming in the first place. I'd take that trade. So let's see what the chat's talking about here. EH sucks. Chaos says, I wonder if the YouTube algorithms just went nuts or someone who has a problem with you went through and reported them. Someone really doesn't like my podcasts. Who knows? The prickly pear was nude. That counts. There you go. One Up says the demonetization of videos are completely automated. It's a robot. Yes, absolutely it is. But often I can't figure out what could possibly be triggering the bot. And I've actually spoken to people at YouTube before, and they are incompetent and liars, at least the ones I've been unfortunate enough to speak with, and I don't know if they're forced to do that or if they just suck. But it is clear that when they say manual review, they are completely, utterly lying. They are not manually reviewing anything. They're not. They are clearly not, because they can't tell you why a video was flagged. They have no idea because they didn't watch your video. And I understand that a lot of videos are like 4 hours long. They can't. But I mean, I've had videos flagged that are literally 1 minute long. It's like, it's 1 minute. Go ahead and watch it. It's 1 minute. Oh, I had one video, the charity event, when I interviewed the forget her name, but the philanthropy director of Rady Children's Hospital as a promo for the charity event. That got flagged as inappropriate. I have no earthly clue how that could possibly, under any criterion of the advertising guidelines, be considered inappropriate. I re-uploaded the exact same video and it was fine. So YouTube's terrible at this. So they do a whitelist, but it's a very small number of channels, very tiny. Yeah, I'm sure they do, and I'm an utter nobody, so I don't expect to be whitelisted. But you would think that they would have some standard, like, okay, we've got it wrong on this channel 100 times in a row. And we admit it because we are reinstating your video and sending you an email admitting that we got this wrong. We flagged your video, we took a look at it, we realized we were wrong, and we unflagged your video. You would think that if they get it wrong 100 times in a row, that they would give you the benefit of the doubt at that point, right? It's like, we've been wrong every single time about this guy, and our algorithm flagged another one of his video. Odds are it's probably wrong. Once, if you're wrong 100 times in a row, then audit every fifth flag. or 10th or something like that. Just do random audits. Something we do in my business, which is inventory. It's what my company sells for the most part. Um, in a lot of accounts, we will audit the. You have a singular counter counting all the product, and they will audit what they counted, and they're like, "Aha! Everything looks good." After a while, that counter is trusted, but every 10% of the time, it's random. Every 1 in 10 sections that they, even though they're trusted, every 1 in 10 section is audited just to make sure, because stuff happens. YouTube could do something like that. Or it could ignore all this stuff and deplatform hatred and bigotry and abuse and harassment. YouTube, you radicalizing nitwits. All right. So let's talk child's play. I like Child's Play. Child's Play, interestingly, is one of the very, very few films that my mother would not let me watch when I was a little boy. And that was weird to me because she let me watch almost everything when I was a little boy. And I asked her later in life, I said, what was it about Child's Play? Movie about a goofy movie about a killer doll that you didn't want 8-year-old Andrew to see. I think it was 1988, so it would have been 8. If it was 89, it would have been 9. And she said it was the trust thing. Your doll, a toy, something that belongs to you, is something you should be able to trust. And by that point in my life, my parents had divorced. My scoutmaster turned out to be a child molester, and a lot of just horrible things like that. My mom had issues with portrayals of trust betrayal. She, with all that stuff in my background, she just didn't want that betrayal of trust in front of me at that point in my life. I think I was probably like 13 when a friend of mine and I just rented all 3 Chucky movies and watched them at his house. Really enjoyed the Child's Play movies. Chaos was barely allowed to watch anything as a kid. I'm very sorry. If anyone's interested, the another thing that pops into my head that I wasn't allowed to watch when I was little was most of Rocky Horror Picture Show. I could watch it right up to the point where Frankfurter throws off his cape and stands there in his outfit. My mom and I could listen to the rest of the movie because it's great music, but she would turn off the video at that point. And I asked her why, and to her credit, she didn't do the "I'll tell you when you're older" thing. My mom would always explain the why to me, which is something I always appreciated. And she said, because he's wearing women's underwear, and I just don't want you to see that yet. Now, I grew up with 2 women, my mother and my sister. I knew what women's underwear looked like. You had the underwear, the part that covers your butt, and the bra, the part that covers your chest. To me, that's what women's underwear was, and that's all women's underwear was, because that's what I saw in the laundry, you know? So eventually, my mom finally let me watch actually watch Rocky Horror Picture Show. And Tim Curry throws off his cape, and my first thought was, that's not women's underwear. I've seen women's underwear. I've laundered women's underwear. And yeah, you've told me a million times, please stop putting your bras in the wash. Sorry. That's not women's underwear. I don't know what the hell that is, but that's not women's underwear. See, when I was a little kid, I had no idea what a garter belt was or a teddy. That was just weird looking. That had she let me watch it, my brain would not have made a connection to women's underwear. It would have just been a really weird looking outfit. So, I have a good mom. Thank you. Anyway, let's talk about Child's Play. So, big fan of the series, some more than others, but overall, I really quite like them. I thought it's been on quite a tear for the last two entries. Curse of Chucky and Cult of Chucky, I thought were both really quite good and very much enjoyed them. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with the, pardon me, upcoming TV series. So they made a remake of Child's Play, which has nothing to do with the series of Child's Play slash Chucky movies that are still ongoing, which is kind of weird, but whatever. Um, I saw it this afternoon, and it's okay. I like what it's trying to do. I actually think the movie is hamstrung by the fact that it's using the Chucky IP and iconography. Um, if you haven't seen it, it's and it just came out, so you may not have. Um, characters are decent. Music's actually really good. I like the soundtrack. Kills are pretty good. The Chucky design I don't like, but the puppetry is there's some CG, but the puppetry is pretty cool. Um, and I like the idea of the film. So this Chucky is essentially a Amazon Alexa. It's the or what's the product? I think the product is the Echo, which has Alexa on it, which is essentially Siri, but a home automation system. So it's like, Alexa, turn on the lights. Alexa, adjust the thermostat. Alexa, set the oven timer. Um, Chucky is essentially Alexa in a autonomous robot body that can walk around and interact with your various, it can turn on your TV. It can, if you have one of those little toy drones, it can pilot that around, or remote control cars. It can connect to the internet and play videos and such. It is a personal assistant in the form of a doll, that looks fairly similar to the 80s Chucky, which was kind of a rip on the Cabbage Patch doll kind of thing of the time. Which is which okay. So what if Alexa? You remember a couple of years ago when God, Microsoft or Google or someone made an AI and gave it an AI that the intent was to, it was a machine learning algorithm, and the point was to put it on Twitter and let it interact with people and learn and become more human, right? It became racist in less than a day, and they had to take it offline because that's what it learned. So I think the idea of an Alexa coming home and just learning to be a horrible person from the people it interacts with is kind of an interesting idea. And that's essentially the setup. Chucky is watching Andy, who in this version is like a 13-year-old kid who's way too old for a doll like this, but it's kind of addressed in the movie. Still doesn't totally work, but at least they acknowledge it. He's, his mom is his dad left. His mom has a boyfriend that he hates. He has trouble making friends. Um, and he's 13, so he doesn't know what the hell makes him happy. He's moody. He also likes watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and laughing at it. So Chucky's observing this, and Chucky's primary directive is be a buddy and um, make my kid happy. And for an AI, it's really difficult because this is a moody 13-year-old. So he's watching this kid laugh and point at people getting butchered in Texas Chainsaw 2. And the AI is like, okay, so we don't want anyone, people leaving or abandoning Andy makes him sad. Okay. So we want to prevent that from happening. But he also really seems to like it when people are gorily murdered. Okay. Maybe we should gorily murder the people who could possibly hurt him by abandoning or betraying or leaving him. Not a bad premise. I did a review haiku for this movie. It's on my YouTube channel. Check it out. It's only 55 seconds long, and currently it's monetizable. So maybe you'll see an ad that's longer than the show. And I actually had to, and I did an anime joke, which was I had to scrub through footage of a show that I don't hate, but I only watched like 5 episodes of it a decade and a half back, and I was like, this show's not for me. The things I do for entertainment. It's weird to me that I think this movie was another movie, and then Universal's like, hey, we have the Child's Play IP, use that. And they're like, no, I think it works better. They're like, no, you're not listening. Use it. Oh, okay then. Because it seems to me that in 2019, if a company were to actually release Alexa as a bipedal robot that would wander around your house and interact with you, it would be an anime waifu, not an 80s Cabbage Patch doll at all. Even if it was, this design of Chucky, the Buddi doll, is so unappealing. Oh, it is creepy hideous. And not in the okay in a late at night with dark atmospheric lighting the dolls are creepy. No, it's just always creepy. It's a really ugly doll. um the good guy doll from the 80s Child's Play movies, you could see those as being popular dolls with 6 to 8-year-olds because they're cute. They're just dolls. And they move their heads and blink their eyes and talk and say, "Heidi ho, ha ha ha." They're cute. This new modern Buddi doll is just absolutely horrific. I mean, he's really, really terrifying looking. It's such a bad design. The effect actually works. I thought the animatronics and some CG was pretty good and played, but man, that's a bad design. I just don't see that as mass marketable. It's so ugly. But yeah, I don't believe that they would go for something else. You know, you'd have dolls looking like Hatsune Miku. You know, uh, there is they already have personal assistant hologram thing. It's a hologram of an anime girl. Came out a couple of years ago. It's like $2,000. It's something like that. And I saw the Japanese commercials for it, and it is, on the one hand, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, the tech is actually kind of interesting. But on the other hand, the way it's framed, it is so sad. Because it's this lonely dude who has his little Alexa girlfriend that texts him during the day and flirts with him. Is like, come home soon, honey, tee hee hee. Oh, it's so sad. I wonder if the dude doing the commercial is like, oh my god, this is the character I'm playing is so sad. I mean, I'm not saying that anyone who would own something like that is sad, because I mean it is kind of neat. I mean, if you think it's neat, or even if you have a fetish for that kind of thing, knock yourself out. But the way it's portrayed in these commercials is like, this dude needs some help, because this is really sad. Um, Chaos was asking a few minutes ago, the one voiced by Mark Hamill. Yeah, Mark Hamill does the voice of the new Chucky, and it's fine. It's good. It's kind of the Joker voice. He doesn't go full on Joker. It's not that high pitched, and it doesn't do much maniacal laughter. But it's in the same register and same spot. Um, if I were doing a new Child's Play, or at least this, it'd be interesting. Instead of it making this doll Chucky, just make it Buddi, you know? Because that way you can have a Chucky versus Buddi movie down the line. They exist in the same universe. Kaplan, the company behind the Buddi dolls, ripping off the Good Guy Corporation, or maybe it absorbed it and bought it, or just changed its name or something. Who knows? And Chucky hears about this new Buddi doll and gets all pissed off because it's got a higher body count. And so they have to fight. There's your movie. It's easy. Um, but no, this is supposed to be Chucky, and it just doesn't work. But eh. So I think a more interesting direction. I would have really leaned into this whole AI that learns from people and learns the wrong things. First of all, the movie starts out. This particular Chucky, this particular Buddi doll, is it's there's a like Foxconn-esque production line in China somewhere, Taiwan maybe. And there's a disgruntled worker who probably makes 50 cents an hour, and his boss is yelling out, "You're useless and you're fired. You put that doll together and get out of here." And so the guy who has access to the program that goes on the chip, which is actually a plug and play, like a 16-pin microcontroller chip. It's like it really wouldn't be that, but he rewrites the code and flips off all the safety protocols and then installs the chip. And it's like, haha. Then he jumps off the roof and we never hear from him again. I don't think they needed to do that. First of all, it's really weird that your doll actually has these kind of safety protocols, like don't kill people, because your doll shouldn't be able to do that in the first place. If you have to put a don't kill people protocol into your doll, you should probably redesign the doll. Like, it shouldn't be able to do that in the first place. It's like, wait, your doll can kill people? Oh, we put a code block in there that says don't. Why can your doll kill people? Why is that even an option? It's that kind of thing. I mean, it's kind of like this guns, right? Guns have safeties on them because there are times when you don't want them to fire. But there are times when you do want them to fire, so you take the safety off. With the good guy doll or the Buddi doll, you would never want that safety to come off because that's functionality it should never be able to do, right? This whole scene is I mean, we get a death out of it, but the whole scene is pointless. We never hear from this guy again. He doesn't factor into anything. And the Buddi doll is introduced as malfunctioning anyway, so who cares that some disgruntled employee in Foxconn who works on the assembly line and has access to programming its chip, which is weird. What? Okay, whatever. Here's what I think might have been a more interesting, maybe not as fun, but a more interesting direction to go for this kind of movie. Kind of like the Twitter AI that became racist within a day. The Buddi comes home, and Andy is a confused, emotional teenager, and kind of a shut-in, kind of an introvert, been betrayed by some of the men in his life, like his father who walked out on them, and his mom has a stupid boyfriend that he can't stand, and the cat keeps scratching him. So the Buddi comes home, and it learns through its interactions with Andy, who's kind of bitter and morose and kind of screw the world, and the Buddi's trying to help him out and connects to the internet and downloads YouTube videos for him. And through the interactions with social media and YouTube, it keeps recommending really bad stuff to him. To the point where it's like, it's okay, Andy, you're not the bad guy here. It's the Jews, and keeps recommending like anti-Semitic stuff to him, and ends up basically being his own echo chamber. And what happens is Buddi or Chucky or whatever doesn't actually become the bad guy, the killer doll. It's Andy who gets radicalized through Buddi, who keeps immersing him in this echo chamber of bigotry and hate. Now, this might not work as a movie because it's literally exactly what's happening in the real world right now, and nobody wants to see that shit. Um, but now that's some horror. Um, but I think some of the one real horrible thing is at the end of the movie, after Andy, who's been completely radicalized by this damn doll, uh, you know, kicks open the door to a mosque and shoots a bunch of people praying, all while with his Buddi doll strapped in a baby carrier thing in front of him that's recording everything it sees and live streaming it on Facebook. At the end of the movie, all the blame goes on the doll, not the information that was filtering through the doll, not Andy himself. Nope, we just gotta recall the doll and everything's peachy because it was all the doll. It was not the hate and the bigotry and the crap that exists in all the spaces that the doll was connecting to. You know how you watch a gaming video and you're about two recommendations away from literal white nationalism? That's kind of what I'm going for with this version of Child's Play. But then you wouldn't get someone whose head eaten by a lawnmower, and those are the kind of things we want to see. So yeah, the new Child's Play, not as bad as the trailers make it look. Um, if you're a fan of the Child's Play franchise, I think it's worth a watch just as a curiosity to see what they do with it. I think the most fascinating thing about it, again, is it's hamstrung by the fact that it's chained to a particular IP and that IP's specific iconography. I think that holds back a lot of the ideas that they were going for with this movie. So there we go. Child's Play. Will there be a Child's Play 2? Another one? Because we're getting a third Halloween 2, so I guess I wouldn't turn my nose up at another Child's Play 2. Yeah. So chat's a little quiet. um, let's see, what else do we want to talk about? Netflix, the Kristen Ritter, Jessica Jones. That came out a couple weeks ago. I would really, really like to watch it because I think Luke Cage and Jessica Jones are my favorite of the Netflix shows. So I really want to see that. But unfortunately, I don't really, but yes, I do, watch Iron Fist Season 2 first. Because I have to watch them in chronological order, you see. Again, I don't have to, but yeah, I do. And I really don't want to. And after I watch Iron Fist Season 2, then I need to watch Daredevil Season 3, which I'd really quite like to see because I enjoyed the first season and half of the second season. I like Daredevil, so. And I'd really like to see Punisher 2, Punisher Season 2. I thought his bit was the best part of Daredevil Season 2, and the season of Punisher was pretty good. And I really like both seasons of Jessica Jones. So I'm really looking forward to seeing it, but I've got a lot to get through before I get there. Chaos says Iron Fist Season 2 is what I was trying to say. Iron Fist Season 2 is a lot better than the first. Yes, because it's shorter. But yeah, I've heard that. So, but it's one of those, I don't want to. I may procrastinate forever, and then they get yanked off of Netflix, and I never get a chance to see them. But that's also just a lot of TV to watch, and I just don't have the time. I mean, I guess I spent the review haiku I did for Child's Play this afternoon. All in all, took about 4 hours. it's weird because it's under a minute of video. It seems so simple, but it took about 4 hours to do. I had to write the haiku. Then I had to decide how I was going to present it and film it and upload it or download it to my PC, load it into my editor, edit the whole thing together, render it out, check it, upload it, do all that thing. But I also I there's some footage of Chobits in the debut review. I had to scan through about 3 episodes of Chobits to get the footage I wanted. And luckily, Funimation, I don't own the series, but Funimation is streaming it. But I had to sit through a lot of their damn streaming ads to get to the bit I wanted. So I have a little footage of what's her name, Sumomo, I think. The little Persicon, is that what they're called? Personal computers, Persicom, something like that. Chobits is okay. I saw it way back in the day, or I saw like the first few episodes way back in the day, and it's mildly amusing at times, but blah, I don't know. It's not for me. Uh, Clamp, it's one of their shows. Let's see what else. What else? What else? I'm really looking forward to. Oh, my hair's being funny. Looking forward to Judgment. The Ryoga Gotoku, the Yakuza developers' new game, comes out in a week, and it's I'm not going to get it in a week unless it drops in price because I'm a cheap lame person who won't pay more than $50 for a video game. I'm sure Judgment is well worth $60. I just don't pay that much for video games. Were I a wealthy man, yeah, I probably would, but I am not, so I don't. Just watch an episode a day. It's true, and I'd be done by the fall. Yeah. I'm one of those. I'm a binger. I want to watch the whole. It's one of the reasons why I'm not terribly into TV because I want the whole story. Like I almost never watch a show until it's done. Not a season, but if I don't catch a show when it does its first season, I'll watch the first season. But if there's a show that's in like season 3, I'll wait until it's run its course. And then there's like 8 episodes. I'm like, I don't have time to watch 8 episodes of this show. Like Agents of Shield. If I hadn't have started watching that season by season, I probably would never watch it because it's like 6 seasons long or something like that. Breaking Bad, I think it's like 8 seasons. I've never seen a single episode. Probably never will because I don't have time to watch 8 seasons worth of 1 hour episodes. And now I've got Iron Fist, Daredevil, Punisher. I've got 4 seasons of Netflix to watch, and that's like 50 some episodes, and they're all nearly an hour. That's 2 solid days worth of TV. Like I've actually I'm going to be taking vacation pretty soon, so maybe I'll just sit home and watch a ton of TV. That'd be fun. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's about it for me. We were on for 3.5 hours last week, so calling it early is probably a fine idea this week. So hey, thanks for hanging out with me while I ramble about the things I was thinking about. I really want to watch Gem the Holograms too. That's like they're only half-hour episodes, but I think there's like 70 of them. So nothing wrong with a staycation, says Chaos. Damn right. So Andrew Eisen here. Eisen is how you spell the last name. Plug it into YouTube, and you'll find stuff like my review haiku for Child's Play, and I did one for Godzilla, King of the Monsters. It's kind of a fun little series, I think. I hope you like it. I get a kick out of doing it myself. There's an innate challenge of boil down all of your thoughts on this particular movie into 17 syllables. Not easy, but I'm pretty proud of how my first 2 episodes of that series have turned out. So What else have I done recently? Mostly podcasts. Oh, I had the what did I call it? When a friend texts you a sexy pic during a live stream. If you guys caught that last week, a friend of mine who knew I was streaming live on the internet sent me a sexy pic while I was streaming live on the internet, and my reaction was caught live on the internet, and it was pretty funny. I did pretty much a classic double take. So, and I excerpted that portion of the 3.5 hour E3 spectacular. So go ahead and so that's on there. So watch that. It's pretty funny, I think. Um, of course, now that I've actually posted that, all my friends are giving me crap, which is fine. I don't mind that. I was in the gym earlier this week. I'm always in the gym, but earlier this week in the gym, some woman came up to me. And it's like, hey, here's my phone. Record me doing this exercise. Yeah, okay. So I did, and then I gave her her phone back, and I went back to doing whatever the hell I was doing, calf work or something. I don't know. I think I actually was doing calf raises. Not that that's important, but John comes, a friend of mine, comes over to me. He's like, dude, I saw you flirting with her. I'm like, what? No, no, I was just I was just recording her. This actually her form. I was recording her form. This sounds really bad. Shut up, John. So, sister's been teasing me. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I can take it. My friends are cool. Hey, follow me on Twitter at Andrew Eisen, where I tell dumb jokes, 240 characters at a time, or however many characters we have to work with. Recently, I've just been giving YouTube crap for its terrible. Because every time it sends me an email confirming that I actually have an email. I was wondering if that was another one from YouTube. Every time YouTube sends me an email uh, admitting that it was wrong about flagging my videos, I screenshot that and I post that on social media because I'm going to shame you. Well, it's kind of pointless. One cannot shame the shameless. So, yep, YouTube at Andrew Eisen. Those are my stomping grounds. Thanks for hanging with me. Happy 150th episode of Molehill Mountain. Child's Play was all right. God, there's a bunch of stuff. Toy Story 4 is out. What else is out in the theater? I don't know if I'm going to go to the theater tomorrow, though. I might be compelled to do another review haiku. I don't think I want to just enjoy. Is it Kwanzaa? I thought that was in December. Is it really Kwanzaa? Does it happen more than once a year? I don't know. One of these days, I'm actually going to Google Kwanzaa and figure out what it actually is, because it's usually in the trio. People the December holidays. People are like Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Kwanzaa. So I just kind of naturally assume it's around the same time. The DG says, I don't know, just felt like saying it. Well, Happy Kwanzaa to you too, whenever the hell it is. Happy early 4th, I guess, because that's in 2 weeks, something like that. Yeah. So that's when my vacation happens. I got a bunch of video games to play. Got so many video games to play. You can't decide what to play and you just don't play anything. Does that ever happen to you where you've got so many options, you're just like, I I'm just going to read a book, because I don't know what to play because I've got too much. There's too much vying for my attention. So, all right, that's it. Good. Hey, good talk. All right, have a have a good week, everyone. Easy K is just hanging out with his wife tonight, so he should be back next week. So we'll have. God, I'm sweating. We should have a normal show. God, my hair is long. Look at this. Oh man. Anyway, that's it. Play Magic Knight Ray Earth for the Sega Saturn. There you go. I don't have a Saturn, but did I see Magic Knight Ray Earth? I might have at least an episode or two. Anyway, that's it for me. Have a lovely week, and I'll see you next Saturday. Bye bye, everyone.